Hey, what's up, you wrestling fanatics and friends? Mike and Jamie back to do a little wrestling talk. We'll get to the Ohio State Penn State match after a little bit, but hey, if you're not using the number one Adidas online wrestling code TRUE, TRUE 30, gets you 30% off any web order on Adidas. And I'm also letting you know that there'll be a short wrestling book coming out that I'm publishing, Why Kids Should Wrestle, ancient history of wrestling, and some other fun stuff. So check that out when it comes up. Jamie, how's it going? You recovered from the weekend?
I am. It's nice having today off to help make it feel like a real weekend with 2 days of not being in the gym.
If you don't know, Jamie runs the Pennsylvania Independent School Prep Stakes
Yep.
tournament and is a head coach. Can you give us a summary of what happened this weekend?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It's a qualifier for national preps, which will be at Lehigh next year. I think it's the 90th anniversary of the tournament. Uh, Top six guys from our region all get automatic qualifiers. It's a very diverse region. We have Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia schools. You have multiple teams that are in the top five or top 10 in the country with Malvern, Wyoming Seminary. Other schools that have kids ranked nationally, Hill School, Penn Charter, Germantown Academy. And then you got, to be fair, someone like the Friend School leagues that have kids that are on the team and they start wrestling when they walk into the room as ninth graders. So it's very diverse group. Malvern was back on top this year, first time in 3 years, 4 years. They ended up beating Wyoming Seminary by almost 40 points.
Is that their largest margin of victory in recent times? Or the largest margin or not?
I have that stat probably buried in one of the sheets.
No
I have
problem.
to double check.
Don't want to put you on the
Uh,
spot.
but one of the differences is Malvern had 14 wrestlers, Seminary only had 12. They didn't have their solid preseason or mid-season
Oh.
lineup with all their guys, so they were down some kids. Some of their backups came in and pulled a bunch of upsets. But they both Malvern had 10 in the finals, Seminary had 11. Both pushed all of their kids through to preps next week. So it's going to be an interesting tournament. The our qualifier has had the highest placing in points and all that stuff at preps for the last 5 years running. So hopefully we can keep that streak going and continue to be the most dominant qualifier or region at national preps.
Yeah, I mean I mean, when you have, Wyoming Seminary and Malvern, I mean, you have traditional powerhouses like Blair, but like this is clearly the cream of the crop. Um, I don't know, one of the things that I was kind of curious about is that um, couple guys that we haven't seen or heard a lot from this year, uh, Lucas Littleton, Mascaro. Anything on 26? Like he's had a mixed season. How did he look at the tournament?
So I found out he wrestled 32 all season, so one of his teammates could wrestle 26. Um,
Oh, that's why he's down
so
at
he
26.
he came down to 26 for this tournament,
Okay.
and it was one of the places where Sem had a freshman come in with an average record, and he ended up winning the tournament, beating the one and the two seed. Got the OW and just kind of was a bracket buster. Kind of shocked the group, and uh, he beat Lucas on an ultimate tiebreaker ride out in the finals.
So in high school, is it the same now as college where there's two rideouts or is it just one?
So you have the 1 minute neutral, you do the two 30-30s, and then first point scored has choice in the ultimate tiebreaker. So a
Got it.
little different from college because of no riding time.
Any other upsets of note?
Uh top seed won at 106. Uh, top seed won at 13. Uh, at 120. Three seed from Sem beat the one and the two. 26 we talked about unseeded. Sem Alex Marchetti beat the one and the two, as well as the five. Top seed at 32 from GA beat a strong Marcus Heck from Sem. Top seed Corbin wins 138 over Conroy from Malvern in a 1-0 match. Um, top seed O'Neill from Malvern kind of walked through 144 with pins and techs in all of his matches.
Yep.
150, Sem had a PIAA place winner transfer over, come in as the top seed, and he won the weight. 157, Hill School had a fifth-year senior come out of the three seed and win it by beating the one and the two. 65, Hill School's Armin Walton Ball was the top seed and just pinned his way through the tournament. He had four pins. One of them went 102, was his longest time on the mat.
Jeez.
175, Sem had a three seed win it. Again, he beat the one and the two. 190, the Lindsley School, who's in West Virginia, had a West Virginia state runner-up in big school. West Virginia was the top seed, and Malvern's Mason Chamberlain, as a freshman, kind of pulled one of his older brother's tricks and gets a pin in the finals to win a state title as a freshman.
Was he winning that match? Do you know?
I think he got taken down and then escaped and then put the kid on his back and pinned him.
It's funny. He's the youngest of those Chamberlain brothers, and I mean, I don't know if he's still a foot taller than them, but I mean, he's
He is. He's wrestling 190 as a freshman.
crazy. He got the mom's height and the dad's width.
Yeah. Yeah. 215 Hill School. I believe he's a PG or a fifth-year senior. He was a two seed. He beat Malvern, number one seed. And at heavyweight, Zalata from Malvern got the win over the Sem post grad, who was the three seed.
God,
So there was a lot of head-to-heads, a lot of fiery interactions throughout the tournament. It was a very animated group of coaches throughout the week.
sometimes people get confused that prep is what is it, soft or whatever, but I mean, the coaches are just as fiery as any public school coach, right?
Most of them are. At the top schools, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we should cover on that? So when's prep nationals?
National preps will be this Friday and Saturday at Lehigh. Friday's a long day. They take a 32 to 34 man bracket. We'll get down to the top eight for Saturday, and then Saturday morning run through those placement matches. Finals are probably around noon.
Gotcha. And great place to scout out future NCAA talent because you mentioned O'Neill, his brother had a nice match this weekend. Oh man, where's he at in the Southeast? Nick.
Duke
Yeah. Was no, is it? I
or
can't,
Carolina.
I think it's Carolina, right? North
Yeah.
Carolina, I think. Um,
Yeah,
man,
it's like you just take the Penn State match. You had
right.
Lilidal and Buzakis, who were teammates at Wyoming Seminary. Feldman at heavyweight was from Malvern. There's D1 kids.
Cannon wasn't Cannon.
Gannon was at Sem for a year
He's
when he
out,
was
but
a
I got it.
freshman.
Yep.
There's just D1 guys. There's wrestlers from PA, the preps throughout D1. I was joking with one of my kids who looking on some of his brackets when he was younger, and it's like Consiglio from Malvern, who's wrestling for Stanford, took first.
Right.
Lilidal, who's wrestling at Penn State, took second, and Solomon Ba from Kiski School, who's wrestling for Columbia, took third. I'm like, you, you had some good kids in your bracket.
No doubt about it. Speaking of Consiglio, he won 3-2 yesterday. That guy rides. I was texting him. I'm like, I would get great if I had less hair. I would find hair to lose watching him wrestle. I think it's really, I mean, I don't know how Brucky and Ayers and what's his name, the Pennsylvania kid, Hidley and
Yep.
Coach Gray. I don't. I mean, he is a cardiac kid.
Those
Anyway.
legs are brutal. He tortured people with them all through high school.
Yeah, and at the college level, it's a little harder. He's on the verge of getting back points or giving up back points at any given moment, right? I was texting him. I was like, dude, you anyway, yeah, he had a win over Pitt yesterday, 3-2. But um I don't know. Should we jump into the most dominant or go through some college scores?
We can do the most dominant.
Okay. Well, Kevin Cornell put out an updated most dominant rating here. And the top 10, Mitchell Messenbrink average points per match, team points. Messenbrink 5.28, Josh Barr 5, Jax Forrest 5, Jesse Mendez 4.89, Levi Haynes 4.88, Shane Van Ness, Isaac Trumbull, Brandon Cannon, who we haven't seen in quite a while, Marcus Blaze, Luke Stanich, and Jolie Oliveri from Rutgers, who's also been out. Anything jump out at you here?
I guess they're not doing any match minimums or whatever because Jax has probably less than a few of these guys.
Yeah. Speaking of him,
But yeah, I'm not surprised that it's filled with Penn State guys.
totally. And it's crazy, right? This could be Penn State's best team, but it's not like I don't want to say there's not a household name, but there's not someone's coming back for a third title. No Aaron Brooks, no Curtis
Right.
Rocky, right? It's really remarkable that how young this team is. But when you were just talking about Jax, did you watch the Jax Seidel match yesterday?
Yes, yeah. That was good. That was what you anticipated with and they even gave a small clip of the state final when they wrestled last year. Uh and you could tell Seidel had a plan as far as even the announcers talked about it. He wasn't tying up with his left hand to give him that slide by opportunities. Uh, I think he doesn't fight that one takedown and belly is out sooner. I think he
Right.
wins the match easily.
Yeah, I've not given up a 7 point move.
Right.
The thing that really impressed me about Seidel, right? So if you don't know, right, this is a rematch of Pennsylvania State Championships last year. Both guys freshmen here. But first takedown for Seidel, countered Forrest. Second takedown, he initiated. Like Seidel is known for being a hammer on the mat, but when you can counter Jax Forrest and then initiate a takedown in the next sequence, that's a big deal. That's some serious stuff. And then Jax Forrest not getting flustered comes out, and I mean Seidel ended up with 3 takedowns. Forrest, I mean, he scored 10 points, 7 of which were on one move.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's going to be a crazy rematch at some point. Because you got to figure, I've been on the board with Willie saying that this guy's going right from get go. He thinks he can win a title, and 33 is ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous. So I can't wait to see not only the Big Tens, and I guess we can talk about that at a future one, but how you see the Big Tens. But that was a great match, and I wish more matches were like that. Like you can complain about some of the Ohio State, Penn State guys, maybe at 33 going to ultimate rideouts or tiebreaker. But at any moment, those guys, you're out of position. They're gonna exploit it. They're staying in the center of the mat. It's a new form of stalling. You circle in the center of the mat backwards, right? It's like Olympic style. Control the center of the mat, even if you're going backwards and you won't get hit. Whereas you watch, and I don't want to pick on Eddie Van Truska because I really like him, but like when he's backing up, he just backs up right to the edge and wrestles
Yeah.
right at the cylinder, right? And so it's just a different style, and it's like, I don't know. And yeah, there we are. So this was my question for you. So Messenbrink is at the top of the dominance ratings, but I mean, after watching Mendez throw uh, Braden Davis around, and I mean throw him around like he is. Davis was out physicaling Brock Hardy, and he looked like he was in the wrong weight class wrestling Mendez. Like Mendez just chucking him. I mean, I don't know. Any thoughts on the difference in domination between those two?
I mean, Mendez is just separating himself more and more so from this whole group. Uh, he does have a lot more power than it appears as far as strength wise. But I think he's just the class of the group. I want to see him in Vega. I think is probably two of the better 41s in the country.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing that you already kind of mentioned it. One, two, three, four, five Penn State guys on that list. So it's one of those things where when it comes down to Hodge, how many votes does Josh Barr or Levi Haynes pull away from Messenbrink? Um, and to me, it seems like that, or Shane Van Ness for that matter, because he's, whatever, he's at 4.82. And I'm assuming those guys are all going to bump their averages up versus Princeton next week, right? So I'm assuming that, it's Mendez's Hodge because Penn State will, split up some of that vote.
Yeah, and some of them are in tougher weight classes. Now,
Totally.
Mitchell probably being the exception as far as aside from Lockett at Oklahoma State, I don't think there's anybody that's going to get real close to him. Will uh, Joey Blaze just made a statement beating Caliendo yesterday, so he's going to make himself present, especially at Big Tens. But uh, yeah, I think Mitchell's going to be the one, but does Levi as the senior pull away some votes from him?
Yeah, that Lockett match and the Blaze match are ones I'm highly anticipated. I think the issue for Lockett is that when you're wrestling at such a razor thin margin for winning, so such little scoring, you can't do that against Messenbrink. Uh,
No.
it just doesn't work. Like that's not preparing. Like you got to get out there and push the heck out of yourself. Um, so you talked about Joey Blaze, right? He beat Kennedy, and then Bo Mantanona beat Kennedy. So Patrick Kennedy having a tough weekend here. And Iowa, squeaking by. I didn't see what the final Wisconsin score was, but they came from behind to beat Michigan. And if Harvey Ludington doesn't come off the bench as a freshman, true freshman, and take out Hayden Walters, who is the number 19 guy in the country, Iowa loses,
Right?
right? I mean, we've been watching this story unfold. You know what? I guess I'll look it up and see what the final score was, but
Which match?
of Iowa Wisconsin.
Uh,
I mean, this team. I mean, the only people who seem to be thriving right now under the brand's leadership is Gabe Arnold, who came out and he beat Brock Mantanona, and then he won in the Wisconsin match. I don't have the box score pulled up.
let's see. Iowa beat Purdue 32 to
Purdue.
6, Michigan
Purdue.
19 to 7. They beat Wisconsin 23 to 12 back in early January.
My bad. It was Purdue. What am I talking about? Because it was a Joey Blaze match. So, Arnold, I mean, Arnold beating Brock Mantanona, that's saying something. Brock is a good wrestler. And anyway, he seems like he's, maybe developing the most. I don't know what's going on with Ben Keeter. Like, he seems to have been regressing. I know Drake Ayala has wrestled he's only losing to the best guys, but he does not appear to be getting better in that room unless he has a great run. So it's just one of those things where I don't know what to say about the team, but no one expected it. I don't know if no one expected it, but Michigan is, they've been making money in the transfer portal, and Hayden Walters is a blue chip recruit and does not seem like I've made some inquiring questions what's going on there, but no, I don't think anybody thought Michigan was going to be that close in the position to win, and they found a way not to win, but
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it was a 5-5 split,
yep,
and Iowa has the bonus. They get a tech from Drake and a tech from Caliendo, and Michigan had the major from Gadiali, and that was it.
that was it. Yeah.
No, Ragusan had a major. So they
Oh,
had two majors
majors.
to
Yeah.
Iowa's two techs.
There you go. Well, that's as the Hawkeye turns. I can't imagine. I mean, if they don't get a trophy this year, if they're not in the top four, all those things, I'm sure the fan base is going to melt down. I know we've talked about them getting some recruits coming in, but Kennedy's going to be gone, and is Caliendo graduating too? I'm not sure.
Let me go to the roster. I would not. I bel They do have more seniors than some of the other teams. Peterson's a senior, Drake's a senior, Caliendo's a senior, Kennedy's a senior.
They're going to be transfer portal heavy, is what I imagine, because they have some guys waiting, but I don't think they have enough guys to plug all those holes. Um,
No, and if you look at the backups for some of those weights, they're not names you would be familiar with. Now, Leah DeLuca
the
should come
name.
in at 25. That's a solid top recruit. But behind Caliendo is three guys that have no wins so far this year. They have a true freshman I've never heard of behind Kennedy. So yeah, they do they lose some people where
Yeah,
Penn State loses just
Levi
Levi.
Hayes. Yeah, exactly. Um, the other thing that I thought was interesting, like Illinois had like I don't know what the Big Ten was doing. I guess, it's just random. I don't know, but they haven't really wrestled anybody tough for a lot of tough matches. And Nebraska put a whooping on them, 28-11. Um, that was an interesting thing for me. Virginia Tech smacked down North Carolina. Um, that was where Nick O'Neill got a win over Tim Crook, who's ranked. NC State crushes Duke. I don't know. I didn't see the Minnesota result. Michigan, lost to Iowa. Pitt, Stanford. I didn't see the final result there. I don't know what else is there. I guess that's it. I don't know. Are there any other upsets? Lehigh beats Penn and Bucknell. The Bucknell match was a little closer. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's any other upsets I was going to mention here. Vinny Zerban beat Ty Waters. You know, I to me, Waters is one of those guys. There's a Zerban. I didn't see the match. It's 5-2, but Zerban's kind of a wild man. But so's Waters, and seems like an awfully low scoring match for that. So I'm going to try and find that
Right.
one. Um, Anything else before we jump into, I guess, the Penn State Ohio State match?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I didn't see much until Saturday night and yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to watch anything from Friday night except I watched Penn State on Saturday.
Okay. To me, this whole match was right. We knew that Cannon was probably out, and then we didn't know about Styles and Karchla. But even if you give them one of those three, if they were in the lineup, and Ohio State wins two, this is really a story. I mean, it's total domination, right? But to me, it's a story of the backups. If Penn State's got three guys out, they're you're not. It's like 1A, right? Like if you get, who knows what Nate Desmond and Braden Davis look like in a match, but we know
Right.
Sealy's really good. We know, you know, what's
You
his name?
got the other Marisola who could fill in for Barr at
Marisola,
97.
Henkel. I mean, it's just a difference of backups because this was, everybody got bonus pointed. I don't think you're going to bonus point Sealy or, I mean, maybe Desmond gets bonus pointed by Mendez, but really it's the story of just how solid the second team of Penn State is a top six team, if you ask me, in the country, maybe higher.
Oh, for sure. They definitely they would beat a lot of teams and uh they would keep it close against the top guys.
Exactly. Um, anyway, it started at 25. You and I were speculating whether or not, they would, try to start away from, Buzakis, who was trying to rehydrate, but to start there. And, I mean, maybe the first two weights most anticipated matches of at least my season. Little
Oh,
dog.
that was yeah, I mean that was what you I mean that's how Ohio State was building their season. Like they were just starting at 25 and steamrolling and uh I mean, Buzakis, Davino, Mendez, they're all ranked top five in the country, and then Styles and Cannon are up. I mean, Cannon's one
Yeah.
if nobody pulls him for inactivity, and then Styles is probably top 10 at 49. I mean, so they have like their strength is in that first five, and Penn State won four of them. Now
No
they were
doubt.
missing two guys,
Yeah.
which
So we had talked about like Bouzakis' strength. He came out and you could tell his collar tie was clearly somewhere Lillidahl didn't want to be, right? He was fighting to get that thing off. And then, it was a really tight match. They get into like there was a Bouzakis attack and they get into a scramble, which was, I mean, that was pretty awesome. And then there was no points. But it seemed like I don't know if that was Bouzakis' cardio there, but Lillidahl, I mean, I don't know if he was just waiting to wear it down, like we were talking about, like maybe at the end of the match. But when he takes that shot at the end of the match in regulation, Lillidahl's in so clean. So is Bouzakis banged up? Like we've seen results change, like when the Michigan heavyweight,
got the alley.
Paris, no, Paris a couple years ago,
Hmm.
Kirkfleet beat him up when he was slightly nicked up.
Right.
And then when he was 100%, he beats Kirkfleet. So is Bouzakis nicked up? Whatever it was, all I know is that Little Doll got in so unencumbered on that inside step Russian. Time ran out, and it looked like he could have done that at will. Right? That's what it looked
Yeah.
like to me. Like I was like, holy, he's not showing him anything, or he's just waiting for Bouzakis' cardio to kind of wear down after several minutes. And he's cutting so much weight. I don't know if he could ever wrestle 7 minutes hard.
Well, Willie had a good point on one of his podcasts where he was like, with the guys that are cutting weight, it when you get to this point in the season, it's either going one of two directions, where you have settled in and you're now used to it, and it's not the biggest deal as it was, or it is still an absolute nightmare every single time out there, and you got it's still a challenge, and
Yeah.
nobody knows which camp Buzakis is in at the moment. But this looked like it's still something that is a challenge for him.
No doubt. And I was just talking to a former All-American, a guy who was like, been on the national team and who everybody knows, like the Olympic and the world weights don't quite line up for him. And out of Cliff Keen. And he's like, I just shrunk my body. Like the weight's not an issue anymore. Like I'm like I'm tired of killing myself. Like I'm shrinking my body permanently. I'm like, is that good or bad? Like that's just it's just kind of a funny thing. And I don't know if Bouzakis is committed to shrinking his body during the season. I don't know. Um, Great match, even though it was not high scoring. A lot of, so to me, you get the, I'm on a group chat with all these idiots from Iowa. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I love you guys. But they're like, oh, this is boring. Penn State's boring. I'm like, that's not the point. If these guys, if there's an inch of an opening, they're going to take it, exploit it.
Right.
Unlike a lot of other schools where there's an opening and they're not exploiting it. They're just, they're wrestling really tight here, and feeling each other out for Big Tens and NCAAs. And
And
anyway,
you kind of implied it earlier with like, and it's gotten brought up before, is like Penn State will wrestle tight in some of these matches almost on purpose in order to not show them anything.
absolutely, right? Save your best stuff and
Right.
figure them out with your second best move. So
Right.
you're feeling really confident because it's all a mental game, and that confidence level, and you have to really believe it. So, to me, it's a pretty crazy first match. Lillidahl gets the win in it was sudden victory or was it
Yeah, it was sudden victory.
sudden victory? So, with another was a takedown that looked like it was unstoppable. Was that the gas tank or was that just Lillidahl? Is that speedy once he figures out Bouzakis's patterns?
Yeah, I think it was just I think one the endurance conditioning is different between the two. And then he got an opening and he just went for it and got it.
Got it. And we had talked about them probably not wrestling each other in high school. There was maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds difference, whatever it was. And Bouzakis had the reputation of being pretty nasty to people that you trained with, huh?
Yeah,
Are we
he
allowed? Are we allowed to talk about that?
I had reached out to some people that were with the program that would have an opinion on it, and they were like, they didn't. Obviously, at the time, I think Luke was probably at 13 or 20 when Buzakis was at 26 or 32, so they weren't close enough in weight. And and Nick's style is just that, like you see now, he just goes and he's hard and he punishes people in and out of the room.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they didn't necessarily. You could tell after the match they're friendly and cordial,
Yeah.
the way they gave the hug and everything to each other. But I don't think they actually rolled in the room
Yeah.
competitively very much.
There's certain guys you just can't let wrestle each other. The word was right. Zane Rutherford and Jason Nolf were never allowed to go live together.
Oh, really?
Right. That was because neither would they both die out there. Like they're not going to lose anyway. So that's 25. It was a great opening to me. It was really, it was close. And it just set a great tone for the duel. Um, and then we go up and we have another great one, right? Davino, and people are going to complain about the Blaze Davino match not having a lot of, action. But to me, I thought this is exactly the two guys with one of the two, I think it was the two highest bonus rates combined. At any matchup here, go out and at least in the preview we had, I thought this is going to be settled in tiebreaker, right? Because they both hold positions so well.
Oh, for sure. And like even they mentioned they wrestled in Ironman finals a couple years ago, and it was like an ultimate tiebreaker type match again. And Blaze is never out of position in his stance, and Davino uh, isn't is similar but not to the same degree. And you could see, and the announcers talked about it as far as Davino coming up more straight up more often, trying to get Blaze to open up, and he just won't.
Yeah, yeah, but Davino was breaking position a little bit. Well, actually, in a number of positions, but he was probably the more aggressive wrestler. He looked more comfortable tying up than Blaze did to me, and he's probably the closest to scoring before things went into overtime. At one point, it looked like that third period. I thought Davina was going to get a takedown. Blaze has got the wrestling IQ that is off the charts. Like his counter game is remarkable, and you just think this guy's an offensive juggernaut. But he's got the Quan, as they said in Jerry Maguire. He's got the full situation. So,
Yeah, I mean, both of them, if they've given up a takedown, it's on one hand the number that they've given up.
totally. And then I thought, with that quick escape, nothing happens in sudden victory there. Davino gets that quick escape. I'm like, that's it. Like what was it, 10 seconds or something? I'm like, what is he gonna do? And and
He pulled the reversal.
that's it. And what do you tell I mean, the heart of these guys, you're in that position. Every coach is always going back to elementary school. Give up one, but not two. Give up
Right.
one, but not two. But Blaze almost didn't let him give it up. There was a couple spots where he let go of the pressure of that elevating Davino's leg, working that take or the reversal. But there was one or two spots that Davino could have turned and Heisman and maybe given up the one. But I mean, talk about a crazy clutch match. I don't know that um, there was a more exciting, series of events during that entire duel as that, the last two periods of sudden victory, even though it was 3 points scored total. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it was impressive. It was also surprising. I don't know how much of a leg rider Davino is. I've not seen a lot of his matches this year. Uh, I believe one of the commentators or somewhere people were questioning going to that at that point because a lot of times you're more likely to give up a reversal than a takedown
Got it, right? That's what
from
the
legs.
legs. Yeah.
But no, great match. I don't think we learned a ton as far as who's going to win in March, but it's going to be exciting. I mean, those guys both are legit.
legit and low scoring. Again, I was getting text messages galore um, about about how boring Penn State is, and these are the guys who are last year at NC in the finals. They're like, God, this was the most boring finals ever, and I'm just like, yeah, none of the Penn State guys in there, right? Like that was right to open up the scoring. Anyway, 141. Pretty good battle in the first period, and I mean Mendez gets in so deep on some of those shots. He almost shoots past Davis at one point,
Yep.
right? Pretty crazy. Uh, but then he just seemed to throw Davis around. Like he was using the hook on the right side and chucking Davis. Davis is a physical kid. He's a strong kid, that or wrestler, whatever. But I mean, this is where Mendez looked like he was just a different person.
Yeah, I mean, he like we touched on, he's at a different level than everybody right now, and you can tell how much he wants that third title. He joked on that Big Ten show that he wants to hold it over Jay Jagger's head as far as only having two. Uh, Obviously, he can't catch Logan, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's just on a roll.
I mean, his only losses are to Bo Bartlett and Brock Hardy in the last couple years. And he has avenged those, obviously,
Yep.
and won when it mattered, NCAAs. I mean, and clutch like that last second win over Bartlett. I mean, that's just steals your soul if you're Bartlett, right? What was
Oh, that was brutal.
that was brutal. But Mendez looks amazing, and I don't know what you learned from Penn State at Braden Davis. Like, he's had an interesting year. Um, yeah,
And
almost
he
feels
wasn't
like
expected to wrestle.
yeah,
So in some regards, he's still rounding into form as far as postseason.
yeah,
But he's had some big wins.
yeah. 49, Van Ness is wrestling Fielding, so Styles is out. I would say that was maybe the slowest start to a match for Van Ness. So
Yeah.
I didn't watch this live. I had to go to senior night for my son. Um, Wait around for an hour. He got a pin in 20 seconds, came back, watched this. So it was a little after the fact, but waited 2 minutes to get a takedown. And then he kind of turns it on there a little bit. You know, Ohio State tried to compete there, but once Van Ness started feeling it, I mean, it wasn't his highest offensive output. What was the final score? Like 11 to no, what was it? Oh, Tech Fall,
20 to 5.
20 to 5 with 43 seconds left in the match. My bad. Um, so that was it. That was like you're like, this is Penn State won the questionable matches. Ohio State won where they were going to win, and now with Styles out, Cannon out, and Karchel out, this is starting to look like this could get away from them quickly.
Oh yeah, and it did. And I mean, even going into it, everybody, all the journalists and everybody talking about it was without Cannon, did it kind of already take the wind out of the whole duel, all the sails of everybody thinking they had a chance because they were just down that one extra body that was going to end up being bonus points.
Yeah. Duke comes out, gets a pin at 57. It was at the beginning of the second period, I think, and it's 17 to 5 team score. I don't know. I mean, I guess when we were talking about it earlier, like the difference between the subs for Penn State and Ohio State, it was really just glaring. I mean, at this point, like you would never, you put Kasich in, you put Sealy in. I don't think they're getting pinned, right?
Right.
They may get, if Cannon is healthy, he may put a beating on somebody, but I don't see him beating up the second team at Penn State. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of teams, the difference between one and two is pretty dramatic. In Penn State, it's not the case at a lot of weights.
Before the match, we had talked about whether or not if Ohio State is wrestling a backup, do they put in someone else to let Duke's shoulder get better? Um, they didn't, obviously, and he is like I don't know. This is maybe the fifth or sixth assassin that Penn State has used, for a pin this year. Barr has done it. I think Van Ness has done it. Like it's clearly something they're showing in the room. Great move. And when you're not expecting it, like he was doing all sorts of things to try and get that fall at the very end. Like he was, coming out front and doing, messing around. And anyway, kind of a interesting take,
Yeah, and as I had multiple officials come up to me this year to remind kids it is not legal in high school.
right? Right?
uh, as much as you're watching and trying to emulate the college guys, it's
Right?
just one of those moves you can't do.
Yeah, my son, it used to be one of his favorite moves, and now he just does like the chin whip version of that, where he just has the fist underneath the throat and the hands aren't locked, and
Yeah.
where he controls the elbow. Anyway, I don't know if it's a chin whip, really. It's whatever. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Mitchell Messenbrink comes up against number 16, Patty Gallagher. He takes him down and rides him out the entire first period. Thoughts? Something we
I
don't
was
see Mitchell do
I
much,
was listening to it on radio driving to the hotel Friday night, and like I was a little surprised. I didn't think that would be part of the game plan, but it might have just been let's work on some stuff. He got the stalling warnings. He got the point in the first period. Uh, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want to show him too much on his feet. Or maybe it was just let me work on some riding while I have a chance.
Yeah, I think all those could be true. And I would just, makes me wonder sometimes when, it was he feeling right? You know, was he sick? Like, when you don't see Mitchell like just wrestling like a banshee, I always think maybe he's nicked up or maybe he's not feeling 100%. And he's like, I'll just ride him, take the starch out of him, like you said, the wind. And anyway, he gets a
I don't
major.
know. Maybe he's been practicing singing more than wrestling lately.
Did you send that to me? Holy cow. I mean, it's almost like a parody. I'm from a different generation, but that is some funny stuff.
I don't know if I sent it to you or not. I saw it. It got talked about all over the place. Give the kid credit. It's just like his wrestling. He's got no fear. It doesn't matter. He's confident in himself, and good for him.
Yeah, exactly. And then 74, Karchla is out, so we don't get to see the rematch of that. So it's, Levi comes in versus PJ Sherrill, I think.
Yeah,
It's a tech fall in just over 4 minutes. You know, I don't know. Levi, I mean, he just can't measure, against these guys, but he's pushing for bonus points, right? So, I mean, getting the tech fall, right? Everybody on that team's got to be competing. They know where they are probably on points per match, team points per match, most dominant. And it's his senior year, right? And I don't want to say he's an afterthought on some level because of who he's been on teams with, right? The kid who has never lost in a Big Ten duel. Um, saying he's a one-time champ and a second and a third place on top of that. But when you're wrestling with Starocki or Brooks or I don't know who else I'm leaving out, but those guys steal a lot of the attention.
yeah. I mean, Levi has gone under the radar for uh, one. He's like 21 years old. He's a he came in as a 17-year-old high school senior. Uh, got second, first, third. No red shirt, no nothing. Goes up two weight classes. Like you said, he's only lost like three matches in his career. Uh, yeah, he's never been the flashiest, but he just is brutal.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know which collar. There was a collar tie he put on the Ohio State kid, and you could just see the profile. Like the kid was like clearly hadn't felt a collar tie like that before. And if you watch how Penn State, I'm not saying that Levi did this specific collar tie to get that look, but they do something slightly different with their collar tie where they may pull at the base of the neck, but then they also pull at the top of the crown of the head, depending on where the pressure is to see if they can pull you off balance. And the kid just made a face like he hadn't felt. I don't know if it was power like that or pressure, but it was an interesting response. So, yeah, Levi went out there and crushed it. And at this point, it's 26-5. And you're thinking, all right, how many Penn State lost three of the weight classes to Iowa, I think, and that's been they're going to easily surpass that, even if they lose at heavyweight. Like there's anyway, this is it's going to be a rout, is the point I'm making, and this
Which against which team?
Iowa. What was how many did they lose? Was it three?
One. They went nine
One.
and
Wait,
one
that's right.
against.
That's right. It's one. What am I talking about? Who did they lose three to? They
Was it
lost
Nebraska?
Nebraska. That's it. My bad. Jeez, God, that's what happens when you're a senior citizen. Um, So 84 looked like it might be another competitive match here. Fishback and Rocco, and it was. And to me, Fishback is a stronger 84 pounder, and I've mentioned before that Rocco is probably one of the weaker, top rated, upper body weaker. Right, he just doesn't have shoulders and arms to compete with those guys. And all of a sudden, you know, Fishback comes out there, gets a low single, takes him down, and it looks like Rocco doesn't get into the match until like the last 90 seconds.
Third period, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, Fishback had some good shots or whatever, and I was surprised Rocco just couldn't get to his offense, which he showed at the end when he really, really opened up. But he had been opening up so much all year. Everyone was commenting on it all about how much he had been uh, opening up compared to past years and everything. But he got it when he needed to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. When you look at how offensively lost he looked and then how he put points together, I know Fishback has lost a couple matches late. It reminded me of when we're watching this, and it reminded me when Nick Gwizdowski was a two-time heavyweight champ, and Snyder moves up, and Gwizdowski's winning, and then just mentally melted down, and Snyder beats him in the for his first title at heavyweight. Fishback just kind of, I don't understand what happened there. Like he just wasn't ready for it, and the thing that I've mentioned is Rocco's foot speed and distance is so amazing that, I mean, I don't know how it's incredible. I mean, it's really, if he had stronger shoulders, he would probably have to be a 97 pounder because he's too big. But I mean, just really from being able to look so lost to then scoring points like that at the end. It's a remarkable display of how you can turn it around when maybe, I mean, I don't know if cardio wasn't right, if he's sick, who knows? But he just didn't look like his cardio was, he couldn't push himself. He looked exhausted at the end of the match. Was it all Fishback and his strength and being able to, get the first points? I don't know what it was, but Fishback broke in the last 15 seconds. And I mean, that go behind was like a give me.
Yeah, I mean, he moved well, faking one direction, going the other, and everything. But you don't see it that easily in college with the high level guys.
You don't. And the foot speed again, like that misdirection. I mean, it was like Fishback bit and then quit. I don't know. All right. Um, Good match. Whatever. 5-4. It gave both fan bases some excitement. I will say that it was a louder crowd than normal for Penn State, which I appreciated because I've capped on them quite a bit. Get more casuals, I guess,
They
there.
broke a record, I think over 16,000.
Yeah, 16,006, right? And what they do, I don't know if they got special permission from the fire marshal, if they adjusted some floor seating, but kind of an interesting increase of capacity.
Yeah, no, it was good. They definitely packed the house, and there was some noise. You're right, it was loud.
Yeah. So that's it. Penn State's up 29-5. Bar Geog, um, kind of a quiet first period. Bar gets in that double and converts it, to end the period there. And then it's just kind of a Josh Barr match where he's just sort of moving around, and Geog looked like he was doing some stalling there, trying to block and that kind of thing. But Barr wins. What is it, 11-2?
Yep.
Yeah. So to me, Barr is one of those guys, like we've said, he wrestles at such a high pace. I don't know who else there is. I don't know what Rocky Elam is doing. It's Rocky, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing to prepare for facing Barr? Because that's the only other guy. I don't know. Is there anybody else out there that you can see that Barr has not seen? And I mean, he's dominated everybody he's wrestled, especially a bunch of guys in the top 10, right? I think 100% bonus.
I'm just trying to pull up the rankings if I can, but
Let's see. And
Bar one, Elam two, Novak three. But Novak I think beat Mirasola.
there's Stephen Little. He got a major on Little, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah.
And then it drops off there
Yeah.
considerably.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. They're going to be. Yeah, I don't know what Stephen Little's going to be like going into the postseason, but to me, that's my money is on a Bar Elam final, and he's a don't sleep on that guy just because he's been injured. He's a four-time All-American, right? Like he's legit
Oh
deal.
yeah, he's legit, and they haven't quite pitch clocked him as much as people were
Thought
expecting. He's
he,
wrestled almost every big match.
he did. You and I both thought that he was going to be, once a week, but
Yeah,
yeah. So that's interesting. I will just say that you know, I don't know if Iowa's, dressers, he puts everybody out there, right? Unless they really, yeah, that's just his style, right? He's not resting you.
right.
You're going to go out there and go compete, like Kevin Dresser. All right, here we are, 285 final match, and Feldman comes in at number three. Everybody thinks he's probably got the edge here. Um, Marisola weighs in, a lot of been made about it, weighs in at like 225. I think Feldman was 330 something, 337. So only 12 pounds difference, but when you look at the thighs, holy difference. Um, Feldman's carrying a lot of weight in those legs, those hips. Gets hits unintentionally gets Feldman in the eyes. Um, and I don't know if that made Feldman less aggressive, but I'll tell you what, when you're not aggressive in the beginning, you could make the point that Marisola had two takedowns in there, but he won in sudden victory. And I don't think Feldman really, I don't know, committed to very many leg attacks. So, I mean, you're watching Mirasola. I mean, he's just getting better and better and gaining more and more confidence during the season.
Yeah, heavyweight ranking. I gotta see where people shake things out because it's there were some changes this week. I mean, Gadiali looked good. Uh, you think that WrestleStat has Mirasola down at 18. Let me see what Intermat has because it's gonna change a good bit as far as
Yeah,
how some of these guys shake out. Mirasola should definitely move up.
they have him at 12 at Intermat and Feldman at three. So, and Feldman lost to Gadiali, but he's only at five. So I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean Mirasola's now got wins over Feldman at 3 and Keeter at 8. Do they start to move him up and not have the Christian Carroll loss hold him back anymore?
It's a good question. And I mean, that was so early. Was that the first duel of the season or one of the first few?
It was real early, yeah.
And so the other thing I just was going to throw out is so we've seen Marisola get in on his attacks, but this win in sudden victory was a counter. Now, Feldman got in pretty deep, but like you like to see when you can score both ways. Like I mentioned in the Seidel Forrest match, right? Like Seidel got the first takedown on a counter and the second takedown initiating it, and looked like to me that Marisola had one of it. It was a really close to being a takedown that he initiated, and then was able to get a counter takedown. So to me, like that's what you want your wrestler to be able to do. You can't just be one dimensional at this level. So I mean, I gotta imagine right at Big Tens I mean, you have Feldman, Ferrari, Gadiali, I don't know, and Keeter, Hopke, Amos, Mirasola, and Luffman. Like, I don't know how you seed that. Like, that is going to be, he's got to win over him. He's got to, I got to think that Gadiali, right? He has the win over Feldman. I don't know if he wrestled Ferrari, but Mirasola's got the win over Feldman and Ferrari and Keeter. I don't know what happens here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they're not using strictly. They have a formula they're using now that's going to be a little different than the past, where it's only like your conference results. Uh, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, no, there's a lot of parity in some of these,
Wait,
especially in the Big Ten.
all right, let me just clarify that. Did you say it's only conference results from this year that are the seeding criteria?
Historically, they
Oh,
would take your results against the field. So
okay.
you beating somebody for a Nebraska backup doesn't help you. It's your record against the field.
Got it.
And now they have a formula that they're going to use. I think for like the first time they're going to try it out. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out, but it's not too long.
All right, final score, I think, is it 36-5? I think that's
I
right.
believe
I
so.
just closed up. That's got to be Ohio State's worst loss in years. I mean, definitely this year. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
36-5.
I mean, the separation is pretty tremendous. With all those complaining people about Penn State not being at the national duels. I mean, the separation, there's like we said, I am pretty sure the second team for Penn State would contend for a trophy, right? Especially if they got to wrestle all year and be at the top of their game. Like if they were
Yeah,
wrestling, right? You know, they're just that good. And to me, that's you can plug somebody in. And what happens? We've talked about the embarrassment of riches here, but when Levi leaves, I mean, I don't know if it's automatically assumed that Will Hankel's going to step in there. Will someone else try to bump up? I don't know what's going to happen, but like they seem pretty good at keeping people happy. And staying there, right? No one wants to leave. Barraclaw, who was behind everybody in the world for quite a while, he never left until he graduated, right?
right.
People don't like leaving, especially when they're friends, right? You can say, there's only one backup that I can think of, and even he was struggling with it. Otherwise, they're great at keeping people around until they graduate. I guess the guy who went to Lehigh from Malvern, he didn't want to leave. Uh,
Right. Beard.
Mike Beard. I'm trying to think of other people I've talked to over the. Was it who else transferred this year? Someone transferred. Was it Pierce? No, Evan. No, Pierce. Right?
It was Evans,
Oh,
yeah.
Evans. My bad.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Connor Pierce is still there. He does uh the podcast with Blaze.
Oh, maybe I should listen to that.
Little YouTube, or it's more of a little YouTube video shorts. It's
Gotcha.
funny. They bring in other kids on the team, do some interviews.
Good for them. All right. Anything else to say about that? I mean, otherwise, they got Princeton coming up this weekend, and there'll be a couple hard matches that we talked about, but nothing that you'd expect Princeton to win.
I mean, 25 is probably the best match off the top of my head with McGowan and Lillidahl.
Yeah, yeah, that should be the best one, and then they have who else? It's yeah, McGowan. I don't know what he's ranked. It's Elijah Rivera, right? So he's a top 20 guy, I believe, at 49 versus Van Ness. And then I don't think they've got Ty Whalen is in the top 20 versus Messenbrink. And then I don't think they have another top 25 guy there. So do you think that we'll see anybody sit out from Penn State?
I would hope not. I think they probably have the records and RPI and all those things. Uh, where is it? Is it like senior night or anything?
Good question. I have to pull that up. I'm not sure. Close the tab, Jamie. My
Let
bad.
me look. The schedule. It is doesn't say on WrestleStat.
Huh.
They're predicting a shutout.
Yeah, I got it. I pulled it up. So it's at home. It's Friday, February 20th, 7 p.m. and Big Ten plus. So it doesn't say if there's anything special about the match. But
Yeah, it could be senior night or something. So I don't know if they have any seniors on the roster on the backup that might they might give some chance to. Not at 25, not at 33. Uh, Levi's the only senior in the lineup. Maybe Cochran gets a match at heavyweight.
right, right, yeah. I'm trying to
I don't
think.
know. I mean, you would think they would. I mean, that's right. It's home because we said they don't travel until nationals.
Exactly, right. Here home, Big Ten's home. Um, yeah, that's it. Is Garcia? No, he's a sophomore. Well, that's that. I mean, that's kind of the end of the big competitive season for them, and I guess we will come back and do a Big Ten preview at some point. And I don't know, any other thoughts here other than like the separation of backups to me is like the number one thing. Like this is remarkable. I guess it's like Iowa under Gable. Like they had, their second team was as good as their first team or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Really close.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. The only other big match coming up that comes to mind, Iowa has Oklahoma State.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm trying to think if there's any other big ones, or how many, because some teams are almost done.
Absolutely. But so this Iowa Oklahoma State match is going to be, I mean, the way, I mean, Oklahoma State looked pretty good yesterday at Virginia Tech,
It's
right?
going to look different than it did at national duels.
Totally. Yeah. And when you look at this, I mean, there was Oklahoma State was missing a couple guys in the upper lineup, but I just got to think that this is one of those matches where this is um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of those things where the Iowa fan base is going to be upset if they lose another match, and
Right.
I don't think there's any other way to look at this. But Oklahoma State, unless they rest a lot of people, I mean, I think they're winning 7 out of 10 matches here.
It's going to be. Again, it's going to look very different than it did when Iowa beat them in the regular season or in the national duels.
Totally. I mean, even if you give Spratley the win over Peterson, even though, yeah, he won, but he won during the national duels. But Forrest Ayala, I got to give the edge to Forrest. I'm giving the edge to Vega over Peterson. Uh,
Yep.
you know, Ryder
Block Swiderski's probably still a toss up.
toss up. Even if you give it to Iowa, give it to him. Robidoux versus Williams. We didn't see that at the duels. I'm giving it Robidoux. Caliendo versus Lockett. Lockett beat him 8-7-3 at the duels. Kennedy versus Facundo. Facundo lost 4-1 in sudden victory and an ultimate tiebreaker 2-1. Very tight. If I don't know where Zach Ryder is in his health. Um,
Or Ferrari
or Ferrari.
either.
Yeah, so that
Are
was
they going to want to get Ferrari a match before Big Tens?
good question. Yeah. I heard he was really hurt. So I don't even know I'm assuming he's coming back, but I don't think they're saying anything. Uh, 97, Merrill will probably beat Sampson, and then Doucette, versus Keeter. I mean, Keeter just does he lost to Keeter in the
No,
duels?
they forfeited.
Oh, they forfeited?
Iowa forfeited. Keeter wasn't in the lineup.
So when was this? Oh, this is last February, 5-1.
Yeah, in national duels, Iowa won with forfeiting heavyweight.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So pull up Russell stat. They've got it 20-12 for Oklahoma State, whatever. Even if that's 18-15, you give the match to Peterson because they have Spratley. Um, and who knows about the guys who are hurt. That's that could be, let me just pull it up right now. I mean, Iowa's record is 12-5. That would be their sixth dual meet loss. You go back to pre-Gable era. And do they have anybody else? Yeah, that's it. That's their last remaining open date. So,
Yep.
you know, yeah, good luck. All right, Jamie. Anything else? So if you're a fan,
I
that's
don't
the
think
race to
so.
watch. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to think as far as Big Tens are March 7th and 8th, so there's like 2 weeks almost before anything goes on. So it's gonna feel like a downtime in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so you can watch Oklahoma State, Iowa, and you can watch Prep Nationals on Flow.
Yes.
National Preps. So I say it backwards, huh?
Same thing, goes by both names.
Maybe I'm dyslexic. I don't know.
But
Uh,
it will be on Flow. They believe they signed a new agreement with them, so everything is going forward and they'll hopefully get some more people there and kind of really push the attention and promotion.
all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.